welcome back to the LCS Lounge. I'm joined by the victorious Fudge.
Hello.
Congratulations on your win.
Woo!
So, today you played Cho'Gath.
Right.
And I've got a few clips we can look at here. So, this first one was the first blood you got on Armut.
Yeah.
So, when I was watching this game, I figured, you know, you've got Caitlyn, pretty spicy bot lane matchup. Figured junglers would probably want to play around bot side. So, leading up to this gank, was this something that you called for, or was this just something that Blabber looked for himself?
Yeah, so our in-game communication early was that they could stack possibly 3 waves on me if Renekton plays well and try to dive me. So Blabber also wanted to retake bot bush level 1 at 1 minute and 5 seconds once the enemy team had left and recalled. So he actually ended up starting bot side this game. And the top laner sort of took some bad trades and the waves really even. Also, we saw him about 30 seconds before this actually ward river bush. So I told Blabber he has a river bush ward. Blabber's like, okay, I'll go around, I'll ward hop over the wall, and
it looks like he actually fake warded it.
He might have fake warded it, yeah.
Okay.
But we're under the assumption that the only place he could ward was river. So
the early game plan was covering top for the dive?
Yes, it was covering top, and it turned into oh, Gragas is probably pathing bot lane because of this bot lane matchup. And top lane should be 1v2. We can look for the gank.
Cool. So
nice and easy.
The next clip, you know, you have a good laning phase, is right around when you get your heart steal.
Right.
You have a pretty nice teleport play. So walk me through what you were thinking here when your support went down for the 4th time.
Zen was kind of tilted this game. Anyway, I was actually not planning on TPing behind them, but I was just planning on defending top tower because we had just gotten Dragon. But then Sven got caught in the jungle and they overextended. Obviously, I'm really unkillable in this fight. They have no damage for me. Gragas is the only person that can kill me because I have armor. And Heartsteel and Cho'Gath, you can just E someone. If you land your Q, they just die to your W and ult. Obviously, I missed every spell here. We don't have to look at that. Just don't look at it.
Yeah, we'll just go to the next
look at
one.
my Qs, man. I suck at it. I have only played 3 games of this champion in the past couple months, so I'm.
He seems really strong.
It is really broken.
You made him look real good.
I think it is really, really broken. But I think people will start to play this game. Also, our mood doesn't play Fiora, was our assumption. So that's why I blind picked Cho'Gath with the flex.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this Gragas Jace flex? Everyone's trying to be T1.
I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good for draft. I think it makes it really hard for you to blind pick top lane, just because you're possibly against either Gragas top, Jace top, or you can get counter picked again. So usually you should get a good top lane matchup. I think because Armut doesn't really play a lot of the good counters to Cho'Gath, like Fiora, in my opinion, is one of the best. It's a lot harder for them to actually make use of the flexes, but
cool. So we got one more clip. This one, not quite as
don't look at this. This is when I inted, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah,
so,
this is when...
So here we've got...
I thought I could get the ult here, okay?
That was close. I thought you might flash for it.
I don't think I had flash at that moment, did I? Maybe I did. I'm trolling.
You flashed out?
Yeah, I flashed out. I'm trolling. Okay,
so were you worried at all here? As soon as you go down, what was going through your mind?
In my mind here, if we just don't fight the dragon, because I inted, obviously, I wasn't thinking about Karma having TP, flank wards on after she ran through river, which was really bad. But after I inted, I honestly just thought that if we backed off, we would win the game anyway, because as soon as we group 5 with Caitlyn having BT, they have no way of poking Caitlyn down. LeBlanc just plays on the side of the fight, Lee Sin plays on the side of the fight, and we just play as 3 with me, Caitlyn, and Kalista. They can't engage on us because Kalista ult and I'm too tanky. I just block all the poke. So I thought if we just didn't fight this, we would win the game anyway, but my team was pretty set on trying to outplay them here, which I think they should be able to win, to be honest. They are pretty low on health, and Caitlyn with BT can just keep healing, as you can see off the dragon. This was kind of scary right here. I was like, oh no, Jace's gonna EQ you, and then thankfully Sven was aware. But I think Berserker played this fight pretty well after. Obviously, I think Jensen entered it a little bit. I think he should have just.
It almost looked like the Jensen show.
Yeah, Jensen almost killed them all here, but nicey, beautiful beard. Oh, I said beard.
Cool, and yeah. From here,
starts with the B.
You're back.
With the B, it's the same thing.
Oh look, you're back. You didn't even die.
I didn't even land Q, dude. My Qs are so bad. I need to improve in this champion.
What I find helps is putting it right under where they are.
Yeah, that would help.
The spikes knock them
that
off.
would help, but then when they have high move speed, you still want to predict where they're gonna click.
Yeah, you gotta put it where they're gonna be.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Well,
great.
That's all I have
Thank you so much. Great review. I learned so much
on
this
your
review.
win.
I'm thankful for LCS to allow me to review with Meteos, the best player in LCS.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's done.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Meteos and Fudge.
Appreciate you. That was great.
Yeah, that was great. One thing we have to touch on before we get to the FlyQuest game is Spica and his tomfoolery on Twitter. So he has been, if you've missed it, a huge instigator. We're going back a little bit. There's a lot of examples of these. These are some of the highlights. So when the Yon Sven drama happened, he played both sides. So Yon apologizes, and then Spica eggs him on, do not apologize, fraud, enchanter, abuser Sven. But then he tweets into Sven's apology and says, okay, nice PR, but what do you really think? And the thing is, he's actually been doing things like this for years.
Yeah.
The more devious ones is the next one we have, where there's a little bit of context here, because on one of M&S's previous teams, when he got subbed out, he went into Twitch chat and said right there what he's saying, why lose? But Spica posted a Photoshop of Diplex saying why lose after M&S's first game, just to try and get under people's skin.
That's wild.
He's been out of control. Because FlyQuest is so good, I feel like he has extra runway to just keep trolling everyone, because no one can like punch back at him right now. He's untouchable.
Yeah, so he's been doing this on Twitter. He was also here yesterday with us doing some analyst desk segments and doing a little bit of casting. And he actually, I think, made some of us get into it. Take a look.
Man, that Space Fleshy bit banged on TikTok.
Dude, we have to find more stuff to do with Fleshy. That was just too good.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Bro,
what up, Spica?
Mark.
How's it going, dude?
That bit, Space
Yeah?
Flashy, that was sick. You totally carried
Thanks,
that.
man.
That
Thank you.
was
Yeah,
sick.
I mean, it was good, right?
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, Mark, you were so hilarious in that. You got to do more.
Yeah,
you got to do
thanks.
more of that.
Yeah,
I
for
feel like
sure.
I came up with almost all of that.
I mean, we bounced between each other pretty well.
Actually, I have one thing I'm casting,
Yeah.
and I know you're a great caster, so I want to ask for some tips. You know, I'm kind of nervous to be
Right,
honest.
yeah. For humor stuff, I feel like the best thing you can do is find something that's like topical in the community already and try and lean
Yeah.
into that.
I mean, if Mark's the funny one, I'm probably like a better caster.
I see.
Yeah.
So if you're the better caster, I should ask you for tips then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
General,
any? Do you have
about
any
any
tips for me?
broadcast tips.
Yeah, I definitely think you're more experienced. You're probably a better caster.
Well, I mean, I've been around forever too, doing a lot of casts. I did a lot of stuff in Challenger, Collegiate.
I mean, sure, but like
Jan,
a
you
lot.
subbed out for like 2 years. You went to do balance, you coached,
Yeah,
you
like,
dipped out of the broadcast.
become more knowledgeable about the scene in general.
Yeah.
Like, you've
But-
just been here like the whole time.
But that's why you're not funny, is because you became too serious when you were doing all these other things.
No, it gave me a rounded skill set,
yeah,
so I can do
rounded, as in
multiple
all you
different
want
things.
to do is talk about the game, and you have
all
no
you
humor.
do is just post all the time. Mark.
People like it. I get
Maybe if you did actual analysis once in a while.
Jan and I don't sit next to each other anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna take a bit.
It's been awkward for me and Rex.
Emily's
honestly.
the buffer.
You're the one that's literally in between them, so if
I
they
know.
start fighting us.
Yeah,
I've been going to the gym. It's okay.
we gotta be careful with that guy. Anyway, Mark and I may never be the same. Eyla and Vulcan had some words on Twitter last week, so here's a recap on the Eyla
Spica
Vulcan.
was involved in this one
drop.
too.
God damn.
Now it's time for LCS Social Theater. Vulcan started things off with.
Bring Winsome back.
Eyla responded saying,
Promote Smoothie.
Vulcan didn't take too kindly to this and tweeted out.
The funny thing about this tweet is Eyla typed this out knowing full well that he is not essential to his team's success. A nightmare. Man shrugging.
Eyla then dropped.
What's wrong? You mad, bro? WillyWonka.jpg.
Vulcan posted an image saying,
Smoothie is at the studio today.
after Dignitas got their first win of the season by beating Evil Geniuses, Eyla wasted no time.
You okay? At Vulcan Lol, I'm here if you want to vent.
Fudge swung in with I think we settle this with a fist fight. Licorice dropped in with the shocked turtle meme from the hit 2006 film Over the Hedge starring Bruce Willis. Solo chimed in saying,
What losing to Dig does to a MFer. You have nothing else than waiting for me to lose a game? See you next week.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for game number 3 of the day. You just got caught up on a little bit of the trash talk between our next two supports going head-to-head. We got Meteos back with us for this one. FlyQuest versus Evil Geniuses. Where do you stand in the battle of good and evil that we got here?
Well, if FlyQuest is good, I would probably side with good on this one.
Yeah,
So
probably.
you're Team Ayla.
Yeah.
Oh, the drama.
Yeah.
The drama, I don't take part in. I just,
Okay,
I'm like a
okay.
spectator.
You're a wholesome boy, huh?
Okay.
Well, I love the drama. I don't.
Okay, you're just participating.
He's eating popcorn.
Yes.
Laughing at both sides.
All right, fair enough. That's actually one of the best ways to do it. FlyQuest going up against EG. FlyQuest still sitting on only one loss this whole split. It was against a TSM squad that nobody expected them to lose to. I think it might have little bit of a fire under their ass, because after that, it's not like they lost anymore. They're still rolling. Let's see how they do here against EG. It's Zeri banned first. Let's go, baby. Every game without Zeri's a game that's better off.
What do you mean? I've had nothing but nice things to say about her all
The
day.
King Poro's not here. You can say whatever you like to
Oh,
say.
okay. I hate Zeri.
Honestly, I want to throw some more hate then. I hate Ashe as well. Let's get that one out of there. Hot shot, annoying as hell.
Has anyone discussed removing bottom lane from the game? Like, do we really need 3 lanes?
We just have a 2-lane game.
Yeah.
Maybe give it like a spooky aesthetic. Put like a big spider on the top of the map.
That sounds too scary.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like it might scare away most of the player base.
Yeah, everyone talks about removing jungle, but I feel like we need to start the counter petition. As we whittle it down, though, with bottom lane, that's going to be one of the most banned lanes consistently here through the LCS.
I'm a little surprised there hasn't been more support bans, considering these 2 players. Like, what's at stake here?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, there's
need
one.
The
Ashe is
edge in the
banned out.
trash talk.
Kobe's happy. The Ashe is banned out. We're good to go. We also got the Vi.
I'm Team FlyQuest now.
Okay. All right. Kobe has been easily swayed based on the bans of the champion that he does not like. One more to go for EG. Yes! We don't have to see Zeri Lulu. We don't have to see Lucian Nami.
It's a good day.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. It's about to be a banger guaranteed.
So I'm thinking Varus then. Varus is going to rise in priority a lot. Varus and Aphelios seem like two of the key AD carries still popping.
Ooh. All right, yeah, we know it's not going to be lead first if Varus is up. Okay.
I am shocked.
Can't believe it.
You called it.
I am shocked.
Profit.
My God. Oh my God!
no
I'm still
way.
really shocked, guys.
Is he about to 2-for-2 it?
Okay. It's not that type of. It's not that type.
It's not locked in yet. Let's
Yeah,
wait a second.
yeah. Oh, you're playing with my heart here, Meteos.
That's Impact doing it. I'm just watching.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You're just eating popcorn.
This is what he said. He's the spectator.
Just watching the drama. I really, though, watching some Prince Champions Queue games, hope that this does get locked in.
Oh my God, they did it.
He has had some of the most aggressive Aphelios play that we have seen since the original 200 years meme, when Aphelios literally got to pentakill people with a single ultimate. He is always flashing in, gale forcing in. So excited to see this particular player on Aphelios as well. We usually will also see like a Thresh paired with it for the Lantern, but it could be taken away. The safety there is definitely highly valued for both.
And Spica, playing his humble tank duty as always. It's funny with Spica because he's like a Nidalee Graves player in solo queue, but then comes to competitive. He's like, yeah, I'll play tank.
It's funny too because I thought he would be unlocked by this patch where they nerfed Amumu and Maokai. He literally had 8 plays, almost all of their games between Amumu and Maokai. I'm like, okay, now he can breathe a little, right? No, back on Sejuani duty.
Interesting, EG takes away the Thresh. We've almost always seen Aphelios paired with the Thresh just to give him a little extra safety. I haven't loved Thresh so far this patch.
Really?
I just don't see that strong. I don't know. He's kind of outdated.
Vulcan definitely had a pretty good performance on him. We'll see if they can replicate at least the late game Qs into Qs is definitely feeling pretty good with the chain death sentences. But there's that flex pick again with the Gragas.
The Gragas is locked in. Not a super impressive win rate on him so far in the LCS, but EG wants to remedy that. Of course, one of the big strengths of the champion is his flexibility. You can play him in a couple of different roles. FlyQuest recognizing, hey, we can't get the Thresh that traditionally pairs with Aphelios. Let's take something else that can do a good job protecting him. They'll lock in Lulu down there with Prince.
I like this combo a lot. To me, it's looked stronger than Thresh because, the way it used to be is anytime you played an immobile AD carry, you paired it with Thresh because you have the Lantern for safety. But with the inclusion of Gale Force, kind of gives him that safety on his own, and Lulu just gives Aphelios a lot of damage. So I like this combo. Draft's looking good for Fly so far.
Man, Jojo's got a lot of ambition. I actually feel like maybe League of Legends is worse for him if he would have been a lawyer, doctor, actor, astronaut, president, general, and player in 2 professional sports.
No, he doesn't say or. It's and.
Yeah,
he's going to be all of
things.
Wow.
Yeah.
What have we denied the world by taking him as a League of Legends player? My goodness, the things that he could accomplish if it weren't for League. Silas gets banned away, though, against VicLa. Has been definitely one of the better champions. I pretty much have loved VicLa when he's on any variation of these melee champions. Also look at on the Yone, the Akali as well. Maybe it still goes that way for FlyQuest. You know, when you have Sejuani, it even puts a little bit more emphasis on that. So I do like the ban from EG.
And we're going to see the Lee Sin and Jace bans. We've been seeing that combo a lot of like Gragas, Lee Sin, Jace. Just a lot of flex picks going on there. Just don't want to deal with that.
Banning away the Gwen as well. One of those top laners that if FlyQuest chooses to lock in their mid laner first and then leave counter pick in the top side, Gwen is one of those champions that can be good into a lot of the picks. So getting rid of the ability to take that on fifth pick on red side, excuse me. We'll see which one of these solo lanes they want to draft first for FlyQuest. They know that the Gragas has been receiving most of its play mid, that Ssumday is one of the champions that Gwen is traditionally picked as a counter into it. So banning away the Gwen does sort of give you the hint that EG is thinking about taking Ssumday as their own top laner. FlyQuest are going to deny that, pick it early for themselves, leave last pick for VicLa.
I want to see a Cho'Gath here in response to Ssumday. That matchup is actually so good for Cho'Gath because as soon as Ssumday ults and goes all out, you just eat him. Because he loses all of his health.
You just eat him, man.
You half health yourself, and then you get true damage chomp.
You just eat him.
Wait. They actually win Garen. He does the same thing.
It's Ssumday Garen.
Yeah,
Somebody get Moose Hater on the phone.
He actually does have the same idea with the ultimate as soon as Ssumday does ult, but you shout it out immediately, Flowers. In Moose Hater in Champions, in Challengers League, but as well in Europe as well. Adam in the Challengers over there, or in the Champions queue at least over there, definitely getting a little bit of Garen. This is one of those picks that is primarily for solo queue, though.
Wow, this is Azir blind after the nerfs. This is going to give VicLa pretty much free reign to pick what he wants here in the mid lane. Hoping for something spicy.
I mean, it's got to be, you got to outspice the Garen in pro play lock-in.
Well, if you want to go kill pressure spicy, then you go with Yone or Akali. If you want to go kind of match and then roam, you go the Taliyah. Looks like they're going to do the match and roam here. And I would love to roam to that bottom lane for sure. So definitely looks like a good option to me.
I want to see Garen with Ignite.
Yeah?
I think Ignite Garen is the cheesiest thing you can possibly play. You can't mess it up. You just ignite ult Ssumday when he ults. Same thing as Cho'Gath. Yeah, I don't think Impact's going to have a lot of fun if that's the case.
I mean, I'd love to see it as well. Most of the times when I do a lot of like random spectating of Challenger games, high elo games or whatever, the couple of games where you do get a Garen in there, a lot of times they do like to take Ignite just for exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you don't have the global pressure of a teleport later on in the game, but your goal is to not get to a late game that feels fair in the first place. Your goal is to slam the guy, execute him constantly, easy peasy.
Yeah, and I feel like it's always Ignite or Ghost, baby. You're going to have one of these two, you know, isolated, more selfish summoner spells to be able to use. Obviously, with the phase rush as well, the mobility of the Garen has been one of the biggest tools that has got him to this point where he is that kind of pocket pick for some players. Stridebreaker, pretty much always the rush as well for him. Let's see what Ssumday can get done.
Oh, so he goes for the Ghost.
Okay.
Not the Ignite.
All right.
Okay.
Which I do actually like a lot for playmaking, and it makes it so scary later on into the game, especially having those side lane options or being able to close that extra gap to the Aphelios when you've got Lulu peeling for you.
And that's the thing that I'm thinking about is in the fight, especially against these immobile AD carries that are depending on a Gale Force or a Lulu or whatever, Garen running at you 400,000 miles an hour is not going to be a comfortable situation where you can play the fight the way you want to play it. So let's see how it breaks out here. The phase rush, the Ghost. It is a very fast Garen here in the top lane for Ssumday.
I gotta spoil something right now in all chat because
What do you got?
we've got some false acting coming up. JoJo's already trying to all chat with Spica, trying to set up. We're gonna do nothing after the game to create extra drama. So if it happens, you know.
Wow, you really spoiled that.
I gotta spoil it. I don't like fake drama, Meteos. I want real drama. Okay.
I can respect that.
We're not getting any sort of drama early on. We're just doing this 5-point spread. This is, I was hoping for a little more spice than this, boys. We have a Garen and we're just going to sit AFK in our own blue brush?
I don't know if he's the strongest level 1 champion.
Garen and Brush, bro. This is
Garen
the
and
oldest
Brush.
meme in League of Legends.
He isn't a brush.
I don't know. That's not a very Chad brush. It's just a normal brush.
We'll just have to give him a little bit. Need some levels.
Okay, all right. We can do that. Bottom lane here, Eyla and Prince just going to be hanging out here. The Aphelios becomes one of those scaling monsters, similar to something, like the Zeri. Not quite as many pentakills as Zeri, but hey, still pretty exciting to watch. Kobe, you were talking about how Prince is a very aggressive Aphelios from the things that you have seen in Champions Queue. Also, with the current state of AD carries being this bloodthirster overheal build that gives them so much extra shielding, so much survivability, especially when he gets that red-white combination, he just turns into a death blender.
Certainly does. See about the early stages playing from them, because Ayla's going to get played in.
Yeah, I would expect EG to be looking bot side this game. I don't necessarily think they have scaling on their side when you're up against, Aphelios, Lulu, with a huge front line like Sedge, Ssumday, so they're more than likely going to look to punish the bot lane early and get some kind of snowball going.
Both junglers are starting on their respective top sides of the map, so we'll expect to see them pathing down here towards this bottom lane. Both of our duos hit level 2 without anybody immediately going all in. That is something you oftentimes see, but not here for this particular matchup. Spica's just going to path behind VicLa early on here, walk through mid lane, and he'll make his way down into the bot side jungle of his opponent. Walks over a ward there. Jojo winning out nice and early in these trades against VicLa's Taliyah.
That's a really smart ward there by Inspired. He put that on the way down to his bottom side just to... It's spotted for the invade and also the mid gank. Really good coverage by Inspired.
Yeah, and because of the extra information, that's why he backs off of his red, goes to Krugs instead. Spica doesn't find him and is going to be able to finish up the Krugs while his bottom lane remains safe.
A little bit of violence in the 2v2 breaks out after Vulcan hit that hook. They trade Ayla's heal for Vulcan's ignite, but everybody's still at pretty high health totals overall. The ward placed down from Spica on the red lets him know that's exactly where Inspired is right now. Inspired also not using his smite on the Krugs means he has that smite ready to go for the red in case Spica wanted to stick around and challenge, but we have perfect vision. We know that's not the case.
And after the cross through mid and the journey through all the wards there for Spica, it is going to be a pretty hefty jungle CS lead here now. 2 camps advantage for the Gragas as he transfers up to the top side and should be able to trade crabs. A little bit delayed.
In today's day and age, though, does that really beat you that much as a jungler?
You know what I hate? I still hate that the crabs experience was reduced so heavily on the first one. It just...
I don't know, man.
Not as big of a prize.
Kind of bad. If you got double crabbed early on, you're just like, it gave me a rush, though. I love that.
I think the game should just end if one player gets both.
You get both crabs, it just explodes at the Nexus.
Yeah, it's a win con.
Blabber's face pops up. Good job, you won!
Inspired looking for mid. Might be able to seek out an angle here on VicLa. Yes, they do. The body slam, the flash, the damage, the auto attack, the first blood for Jojo.
And he gives it to his mid laner there. Could have easily yoinked it away himself. Inspired, very humble.
A bit of a mistake there by VicLa blowing the flash. It seemed like once that body slam connected, you were gone for sure. And by blowing your flash, you're just opening yourself up to that Azir scoop that you always see right at level 6.
Top side, let's take a look at how these trades of Garen versus Ssumday go. You can see, you drop the silence, you spin on top of them. As soon as the silence wears off, it's generally when you're gonna start walking away, not staying around for the entire duration of the spin, just to guarantee he's not able to fight back very well. Impact's gonna freeze the wave outside the turret here. Oh, we even had the shake effect on the dragon, that's spooky.
Ssumday sticks around because Impact pulls the wave over.
Yep. Get the next one shoved up in there. Impact's gonna try to fight him however he can, but there's not a whole lot really to fight. Ssumday doesn't have enough strength to instantly clear the wave with a single spin, so he sticks around a little bit longer, grabs that last one there. Spica's still hanging around here in the top side. We'll be able to smite that Krug to guarantee he clears this camp out a little faster, but Ssumday's gonna back off now.
It's always a bit of a weird spot when you're the top laner without TP against someone with TP because, Ssumday wants to get that clean wave crash so that he doesn't lose a ton of XP when he has to recall.
Unfortunately for him, doesn't quite work out that way. Impact did a good enough job sacrificing his health as a resource. Eyla says he's sending Vulcan back to Academy.
I want the real drama, not the fake.
Vulcan says the only thing you send is supportive comms to your teammates while they carry you. So,
wow.
Are you mad? Impact decides to contribute as well. Team player Impact, not going to leave his boys out to dry. Impact, this is supportive combat. Stay out. He wants a fair fight. He wants the 1v1, man.
Classic. Top laners trying to get into the rest of the action and just getting denied. Stay on your island.
Ooh. Goes for the hook. Misses it. Eyla not going to be pulled in by that one. Of course, if that did connect, we know that Inspired was right behind. We know that Spica was waiting too. Could have turned very explosive very quickly, but still not a whole lot. Evil Geniuses does have a very nice early lead here. Just the one kill that they got in the mid lane onto VicLa worth about 600 gold. Another plus 500 from the advantages they've earned through their farm.
There's level 6 here.
Oh boy, and he swoops him right on over to Ssumday's Garen. They pop the silence. Spin to win. Evil Geniuses has their sights set on VicLa.
I, for one, am shocked to see his scoop from
Oh
Riot
my
Games. Like, that was a
God.
crazy play by Jojo. Props for that one.
Ssumday takes time out of his busy day to walk all the way down there too and collect on the kill with the ghost Garen. Nonetheless,
Impressive restraint, not ulting that. He definitely didn't need it, but it's such a Garen thing to do.
If this is solo queue, that's a Garen ult 10 times out of 10.
Absolutely.
he really wants to have that interaction with Impact that you're talking about. Half health himself, then get extra execution damage on it in the 1v1.
I'm curious how Impact's going to play this out, because I went through a bit of a Cassante phase myself, and this matchup was not a good time. I didn't know what to do. See what Impact does.
He's been pretty good at playing a lot of kind of losing 1v1 matchups, still managing to control the minion wave decently while not exposing himself to too much threat. So if we're going to learn from somebody, I definitely pick Impact.
Oh, he's incredible at it.
I mean, the guy's had an incredibly long career, and a lot of it, he's been the Lord of Weak Side, right? He can play that part of the team that's not going to get the focus, that's not going to get the resources, and still find ways to be relevant later. So 60 versus 64 in the farm count. Things are perfectly fine up there for FlyQuest's top laner. The biggest difference right now is in that mid lane with VicLa being focused, having 2 deaths so far. He's also not running a teleport, so whenever he dies, he is more easily punished. He's down about 3 waves versus the Azir of Jojo. Bottom lane's also a minor lead there for Prince, but that's about it. 2 kills, 1,500 gold lead. Spica level 6 now on the Sejuani. Inspired level 7 on the Gragas. Both junglers have their big playmaking tools ready to go.
So a little bit of interesting stuff's going on with these AD carry builds. So FBI is going for Poke Varus, and Prince is not going for Bloodthirster. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little, that's a little bit of a head scratcher. I feel like Bloodthirster has become sort of like the meta item that everybody wants to rush, but I guess it's probably what you're talking about. Gale Force is so important. You want to be able to have that extra mobility, especially with no Thresh.
To go in and get the execute proc damage every single time. Berserker uses it aggressively. Also, we got notification confirmed. This is the first LCS Garen ever.
The LCS has been around for like a decade. That's
Yes.
3,652 days, because of leap years, don't forget that, of no Garen.
I remember it like it was yesterday, 2013. Here we go, Vulcan hits the hook.
Ayla!
Oh,
Ayla! Goodbye.
You got to emote. There it is. There it is. The white flag. Let's go.
Let him know.
Vulcan strike
ult,
first.
check ult, check.
I'm on it, baby. I'm way ahead of you. I'm spamming enter here. There's no new spice to the fire here being added. Vulcan just takes his kill and the emote is enough.
Man, Evil Genius is off to a great start here against FlyQuest. EG's been a team that, you know, they've had a lot of weird moments in a lot of their games so far this split. They are 8-4. They're doing pretty good objectively, but there's just a lot of these moments where it feels like people end up on a different page. Things get a little wacky later on. So being off to an almost 2,000 gold start nice and early, this is great for these guys, and I hope they can keep up this momentum as we work towards the mid game.
Yeah, definitely getting a nice lead in the mid lane there. But aside from that, the side lanes are still going pretty well for FlyQuest.
Yeah. Honestly, Impact doing a pretty good job up there in that Cassante matchup versus Garen, staying pretty even. Despite the little roam down towards mid by Ssumday to collect the extra kill. Not too much of a difference being gained there. Spica going to slip into the dragon, start it up himself, and since they've got the bottom side push here with Eyla moving over, they don't want to give it away by going over the Scuttle Vision, but it's so low that if they just show, you can instantly burst it. Should be able to finish it off. If Vulcan steals out with a death sentence, he deserves it.
This is also a very, very late first neutral objective compared to what we've been seeing so far and recently in the LCS. There's no early Herald taken. The first Drake not falling down until 11 minutes into the game. A lot of times these Drakes are being taken 6, 7 minutes. Herald's being taken 8 or 9 minutes on spawn. Jojo goes in looking for VicLa yet again. Spica coming in trying to help that mid laner out. Inspired looks for a little bit of damage, not quite enough to finish it with the ult.
Very close. Does get his flash, though. Still a good exchange for EG there.
Yeah, Jojo aggressively trading, using his flash to get the flash eventually of VicLa due to Inspired's follow-up, means that you can rinse and repeat, because flash timers are going to be a lot longer than the Azir sweep. So that's why you always want to be the one opting into it as the Azir. And honestly, from VicLa's side, I got to see some real big plays later, you know, interrupting or stunning Gragas across the minefield, you know, stunning this Azir out of some big play, or else it is really not looking worth it.
That seemed like a personal Thresh ult there. There was nobody else around Vulcan, and he just death sentences Eyla and pulls him into the box in the river. FlyQuest have more guys nearby more quickly, so they still have control over this Rift Herald pit. They're looking to take this one out.
Taliyah walk.
Zoning Inspired away. They go for the death sentence. They find it onto Spica. The eyeball has been dropped, but it has not been picked up. Vic was providing a little bit of covering fire as Impact has to disengage. Evil Geniuses, they may not have been able to secure the objective, but they will protect it long enough that FlyQuest cannot come in and pick it up. We just gotta wait, make sure nobody's able to dash over the wall and come in and get it at the last second. Nope, eyeball disappears. No Herald for anybody.
Kind of surprising result out of that. You know, 5 versus 5, the Thresh hook lands onto Sejuani, but I guess just both teams were able to get out with no casualties.
No box, unfortunately, to follow that death sentence up with, so EG's not able to lock him down, get any sort of a punish off of it. Still enjoying a 1,500 gold lead. 1 minute left on all the turret plates. No eyeball being claimed means you're not going to be able to get any guaranteed extra money from a Rift Herald charge. EG is going to swap their mid laner down into bottom side to answer the same swap that's already been done by FlyQuest with Taliyah being down here. Remember that as long as Taliyah's ulti is not available, you don't feel that extra pressure of wanting her to be mid so she can jump anywhere all over the map. And so VicLa's just going to hang out for a while.
Yeah, he used it just kind of join for the last little Rift Herald fight that FlyQuest at least were able to kill it. Yep. As you mentioned last game, you know, you still get 100 gold for killing it and 200 local gold as well. So 300 for the team at least. It's still a very sizable lead here for Evil Geniuses, so especially on Jojo. The Leandries completed for this Azir. Definitely a huge power diff for these mid laners, and him having the Azir ultimate ready is causing FlyQuest to run.
Vulcan goes in, and they're going in after VicLa. Man, they just juggle him around, beat him down. Jojo getting the money on it, 2-0-1 here on Azir. VicLa dead the 3rd time this game. He is having a rough one.
He really is, and this was that last pick Taliyah. He could have picked any champion he wanted.
Yeah.
And this is what he chose, and it's really not working out.
Yeah, I mean, I do generically, you know, not considering players like Taliyah into Azir, but man, they have not been able to use it aggressively, not been able to roam at all, no setup plays. Usually you want like a jungler that can, you know, lock somebody in place to set up for the easy W combo, but they just don't have it here, and he hasn't been able to create anything without setup. So definitely gonna have to take that into consideration next time around, probably here for FlyQuest. Definitely some learnings already as Evil Geniuses balloon their lead even further.
You can see up there in the top side, Ssumday's wave clear is now at the point where it feels really good for the Garen. You just spin on top of the wave, pop the active on your stride breaker, guarantees you clear out everything that's not a cannon minion. Impact honestly doesn't have much harder of a job than that, a couple of Qs and he'll clear out the same thing. But Vulcan and Inspired and even Jojo are coming top side. They want to focus on Ssumday now. Everybody goes in. Nice using the all out from Impact to get through the Shurima shuffle to get past the Emperor's Divide. Impact just says hell no, sends them all back.
Great play by Impact. Like we were saying, he is just the king of absorbing pressure, and that was awesome for FlyQuest. You know, EG committed 4 members. They're going to get multiple waves, mid and bottom, some damage on the turrets, just a lot of space created by FlyQuest there.
Yeah, Impact at it again. One of the GOATs. Dragon coming up next too. Looks like there's still going to be a half timer on the Azir ultimate. Jojo will have flash though, so definitely could set up another big one here. FlyQuest rotating everybody down. They are going to try and defend it. push mid first, get your mid priority, and then be able to rotate down. They've got vision control here.
Yeah, FlyQuest definitely has the positional advantage here. They've got all the vision control. They've got control of the river, but it does look like EG is going to want to push into that.
Watch this inspired flash on Gragas, ready for the full combo.
All right, FlyQuest has claimed the dragon. That's going to be their second Drake of the game. Vulcan goes for the hook over the wall, but he won't find a target. FlyQuest gets the objective, and they disengage. They don't even spend a summoner spell for it.
Vulcan was really thinking about the Hex Flash there. You saw him sit next to the wall, just contemplating, calculating. Did not go for it this time, though.
He knows it's a one-way trip. It's just, is that trip worth it?
And then you get some trash talk back. You don't want to let Eyla get back on the board, you know. Right now he's got the advantage over him. But honestly, very well done by FlyQuest. That is back-to-back neutral objectives. Now Vulcan under attack.
Oh, Vulcan's going to be caught in a pretty bad place to be. And Prince getting the money is exactly what FlyQuest ordered.
There we go. A nice pick from the Taliyah, getting some value with the Taliyah wall, cutting him off and securing themselves a kill. This is after FlyQuest got 2 neutral objectives. They got the Rift Herald kill at least and got out, and then they get the Dragon and get out as well, even in the face of this mid lane advantage, this big gold lead for Evil Geniuses.
It's really just smart macro play by FlyQuest here. They've, they're doing this from behind. They have very little control over mid lane, but VicLa, he comes down for the Dragon, and he's able to get a pick on his way back to top lane. Just very smart play.
Finally, the crown of the Shattered Queen completed for VicLa. He knows he's been targeted again and again and again. He's just trying to get something to help him survive a little bit better against some of this pressure, some of these all-ins being expressed by Jojo and Inspired. FlyQuest still down over 2,000 gold, but they have those 2 Drakes, Hextech and Infernal, best Drakes for damage, so that means that they're going to be able to make up some of that overall gold difference just in that free value.
And I'm looking a lot at Prince here. His Infinity Edge is well underway. The Gale Force IE combination or BT probably be the bigger shield. hoping for some bigger crits, but probably be that big shield.
I would expect a BT, just, you're up against poke Varus, Azir, even Gragas to an extent. Like, by all means, EG wants to poke you out before fights.
It's just too good right now.
That really makes me question the poke Varus in this game specifically, because you're going to be up against a BT Aphelios, and Sedge is almost always going to build Warmog, so not a ton of great targets to poke out.
Well, Evil Geniuses do a good job here picking up this second Rift Herald and getting the eye this time. FlyQuest are not able to interfere with that process, but FlyQuest are going to go ahead and take the trade. You get the Herald, we'll take the mid lane tier 1 turret. It is a 2-0 turret count. Now for the side of FlyQuest, bringing that EG gold lead back down to just over 1,000, 19 minutes into the game. That's not terrible to have to do.
No, I would be really happy if I was FlyQuest taking that trade. One of the best things you can do with the second Herald is getting that tier 1 mid, but they just give it to you for free. You don't even need the Herald for it.
Yeah, it's just, all right, you got the thing that'll get you this. We'll just take that and skip the startup steps. VicLa's going to clear out the wave here again. Top side, just mid laners trading farm back and forth. Of course, Jojo's farm advantage is massive at this point, almost plus 40 over VicLa's Taliyah. Not a nearly large enough lead like that anywhere else on the map. Prince is plus 20, Inspired is plus 20. Top lane just dead even between these two. Second item already completed for Impact up there in top side does have the Jack Show along with the Sunfire Aegis. You can see Ssumday still working on getting that second item done. Did stop off for completed tier 2 boots with the Berserker's Greaves. But yeah, we're just about 20 minutes into the game. We're about 90 seconds away from our third Drake spawning. EG can still give away one more if they want to, but FlyQuest are stacking.
Now's a really good time in the game to look for plays and just kind of fish around on the Aphelios just to burn summoner spells. If you could burn Flash a minute before Dragon comes up, that gives you a way to really win this team fight, especially with Gragas and Azir capabilities, trying to take down that Aphelios. But looks like Prince playing very safe. He went back, was able to finish his BT, walked straight back through lane, and not going to blow anything before this Dragon comes up.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for FlyQuest. Gold aside, they've got 2 dragons. Their Aphelios is on a really big spike. He's super strong. I'm not really sure how EG is going to deal with this Aphelios. He's very hard to kill at this point in time.
Yeah, they're going to have to combo, Inspired big flash play from Gragas into Jojo play here. Maybe FBI can fish around for something here with the Varus and set them up, but it definitely is going to be number 1 on everybody's mind for this team fight. How do you deal with the 2-item Aphelios?
And it's not just 2-item Aphelios, it's 2-item Aphelios piloted by the best AD carry player in the league. Prince has been a standout performer throughout this entire split. FBI is going to be caught by Spica there, but he has the cleanse so he can get away from the ulti. Impact coming around on the side as VicLa separates them all and Inspired's the one caught out, but Impact may just be punished. He flashes away from the chickens and escapes with 10 HP. The fight continues and Prince goes forward, but Prince may have been caught. He gets back over the wall. How the hell's he still alive? Finally gonna be shut down. Vulcan gets slammed down by the Demacian sword, and now Spica has to run away from the Garen. Ssumday's still after him, and he just keeps on spinning. Spica has to flash back over the wall. It's 2 dead on the side of Evil Geniuses, 2 dead on the side of Fly. But the FlyQuest players who died were VicLa, and most importantly, Prince.
That was a crazy fight. It was both teams just back and forth at each other's throats, like kind of engaging, disengaging.
Oh, and we're not done yet. Ssumday and Inspired trying to deal with Spica and Eyla. Impact is going to reinforce. He teleported back down to rejoin the fight, but now they gotta fall back because they know that EG is also bringing more men back to the party. It's FBI rejoined with the rest of the team. It's Jojo teleporting back in to rejoin the team. And it's Evil Geniuses with enough control of the bottom side river to guarantee they can get this Drake and stop the stacks from FlyQuest.
Yep, FBI gets back first as far as the DPS, and Jojo teleport difference is able to burn it down. Leandri's doing a lot of work there. In the end, Evil Geniuses get their dragon, but man, that was such a crazy start to it. With a dual-sided engage there, evasive maneuvers from Inspired, gets his ult off, and then flashes over to the Lantern to put Impact in such a scary spot.
Yeah, that was so back and forth, and Impact barely got out. Prince went in, barely got out, then got flashed on. It was all over the place.
All right, well, the ramifications from that fight, a lot of summoner spells boned. Yeah, a lot of flashes down, and trying to take advantage right now.
Prince gonna get shuffled back into the rest of EG. He's trying to tank it out as long as he can, but it can't be done. Jojo takes him down, and Eyla walks away with another 10 HP escape, but Jojo won't let him get all the way home. A double kill for the Emperor and the mid laner of EG, as now they've got a 5v3, and their sights are set on Baron. They gotta keep Spica in mind, though. Always keep eyes on him, always keep him away. It's Ssumday looking to play interference, as they're going to throw Jojo's soldiers back over the wall. Vulcan goes for a hook. Impact goes down below half HP. Another death sentence flies out, but it ain't going to find the mark. Impact trying to deal with Ssumday and keep him away, so Spica's able to find an angle to enter into the pit, but it ain't going to happen. Ssumday goes all out. Ssumday goes all in. There's the execution on Cassante. He presses his ult, and then you just eat him. You don't even got to be Cho'Gath. It's Evil Geniuses getting everything.
I love how much attention EG put on not letting there be any chance of a steal, going over the back of Baron. They were tanking Baron spikes for like 30 seconds there, fishing around to kill Impact and Spica to make sure the Baron doesn't get stolen. They get the extra kills as well, and we finally got to see it.
You know, I think it was a good attempt by Fly to get that steal there. It was a pretty desperate situation. They lost Prince, there's no way they can fight, but I like the way that Impact ulted Ssumday over the wall, knowing he's gonna die to that ult, but it does give space for Spica to maybe get the steal, but you know, EG still were able to prevent it.
Yeah.
Good try, though.
Look at this. Jojo has done so much work this game. The Azir soldiers over the back of the pit, and then Inspired is able to take the Lantern and jump up with Vulcan. There's the ult for ult. Garen answer into Cassante. Meanwhile, VicLa gets zoned out by the rest of them. He will shoot Baron, actually, spitting on and finishing. Jojo is the only extra kill back.
So the funny thing, remember Cassante, right? He loses a lot of his bonus resistances too. I don't even get to talk about it, man. They're already going in. Prince is down, but he's traded away for Jojo. FlyQuest now looking for their chance to punish EG. Vulcan wants to get away. He flashes over the wall. He'll survive, but now Impact is going after Inspired, and he's going all the way. Spica gets the kill, and FlyQuest, coming off of a play where they lost a team fight, they lost a Baron, they lost it all. They come right back and hit EG for 2 players in the mid lane. Impact needs to disengage again now, because Ssumday is split pushing all the way to victory, looking to take down the tier 3 turret in top. He'll get it, and he'll get out.
Ssumday is absolutely living his best life right now.
Yeah,
just
man.
Hard chilling on this Garen, just so strong right now.
I love it. You can see it on the player cams as well, laughing after he was able to get the execution onto Impact. They're still wearing purple here for several members of Evil Geniuses, though.
Yep.
So top side inhibitor tower has been taken. and they can just reset, push out bottom. Vulcan gonna give it a little boost here for FBI with the added Hex Flash as well for some min-maxing on the distance of the Lantern.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm impressed by EG's ability to keep catching Prince out. You know, they don't have a ton of damage, but they're just hitting. Look at this Gragas ult. Just sends him right
into
in.
Azir ult, into body slam. He doesn't hit the ground. Gragas ult into Azir ult. He's just bounce house, bouncing all the way to the fountain there.
That was a very good Gragas play. That was not an easy ult to hit.
Then boom, they wombo combo. It's the impact ulti into the shove from Taliyah that guarantees the extra kill onto Inspired there from FlyQuest. Now they gotta try to defend underneath their tier 2 turret. Gragas ulti flies out. Impact doing a good job there, being that frontliner, being the guy who can soak all this damage. Jojo's not grouped up with the rest of Evil Geniuses. He's pushing over to the side, taking out the tier 2 in mid lane. It's gonna buy enough time for the rest of EG to take the tier 2 in the bottom lane. The gold lead expands further, 7,500 gold to the Geniuses.
All right, baby. 17 seconds on this dragon. Can we do anything? 7,000 is a lot of gold to contend with. Evil Genius is getting back. They're spending it all right now. We see all the item completions coming through. Void Staff as well now picked up for Jojo. Plus, he's got the True Damage Potion in inventory. He's really min-maxing the duration. Gonna walk it all the way out till right before the fight to be able to pop.
Yeah, what a disastrous last 5 minutes for FlyQuest. You know, this whole game has been neck and neck, and then since that dragon, or well, losing the fight right before it, they've just sort of lost control of the game entirely. Prince does have Flash up now.
All right. Flash cleanse, has the Gale Force ready to go. There's so much pressure on him too to be able to just put out this ridiculous amount of damage to get them over this 7,000 gold wall that EG has built.
And especially because of the way the early game went, with Taliyah being pretty far behind for the majority of it, everybody on EG is always looking at Prince. So everybody knows it. You know, he's going to have to outplay all of this CC coming at him. We saw Inspired, Jojo, FBI, Vulcan, everything being shot towards Prince's way. And they don't feel, after all those losses, that they can contest on Dragon number 2, because the rewards are very small and the risk very high.
Ssumday is so scary on this Garen now as well. With Dead Man's Plate completed, he's just going to run at you so fast. As soon as he hits you, you're going to be slowed down. You're going to be silenced. Stridebreaker's going to follow it up for an additional slow. He'll be re-hasted from the phase rush. It's a very, very sticky Garen that it's hard for Prince to be able to get away from, even if he's got that Lulu.
He's off to the races, Flowers.
Oh, no, here he goes. He's flying like a bat out of hell. Lulu, run, little Lulu, run.
Goodbye, Eyla.
Run, little Lulu, run. FBI gets the money, and Ayla's out of the picture for 35 seconds.
I think they should have given that to Vulcan.
Yeah, just to send a message.
Yeah.
I would have done that.
Call him on over. He used his Shirelias. That's about it.
It's getting rough for FlyQuest here. They are struggling to find any way to really stabilize against what EG is doing. You finally got Infinity Edge up for Prince, so hey, 3 fully completed items in Aphelios. That's just about the only thing that might be able to turn this around.
And the scoreboard doesn't really show it, but I have to say so much credit to Jojo in this game. The Azir, really big difference in pressure, setting up for a lot of these mid-game moves where EG are also finding picks, and Ssumday gonna get his 1v1, teleport out for impact though.
Oh,
they came back up!
The silence came back! The silence came back! Black Cleaver's ability haste is enough to restore the Q's cooldown just in time to cancel Impact's escape. He wants to flash away, but he knows he can't do it. Ssumday is so fast, and he just executes him. If you guys want to beat Cassante in solo queue, there's how you do it. Pick Garen.
Impact tried so hard. Nothing he could do.
I have to say, too, the first and only Garen in the history of the LCS, infinite KDA. Looking
incredible.
Good.
Incredible. 4-0-2. He's got his Zeal. He bought the Zeal right after the Stridebreaker. He's just been sitting on it forever because it's such a cost-effective item. Just gives him some good stats. As Evil Geniuses, with the enemy frontliner dead for 15 seconds and also not having his teleport because it was used and wasted in the attempted escape, EG knows this is a great time to go after the Baron, but they've got to be aware of Spica. They can't allow this to end up being some sort of YOLO flip on a 50-50. Spica's still trying to hang around. FlyQuest knows they can't just give it away. Prince wants to fire off the Moonlight Vigil, but it ain't gonna do a lot. Holy moly, you gotta be shit!
Really?
Spica gets it!
all of that, and you just let him walk in. Why?
Insane stuff. So we saw first Prince went up to shoot ult to try and get vision for him. Everybody on FlyQuest is trying to get vision for Spica. Then he has to go in himself. He ults, he flashes in, and brings hope to FlyQuest.
At the 11th hour, man, the Sejuani.
It's actually such a huge swing with the increased objective bounties into the game now too. That one magnified, and now they can get more with Baron buff. Let's take a look at the vision attempts here from FlyQuest, because Taliyah wall was used super early. Then we know Prince is gonna try and move up to get him some space. Prince doesn't, find anybody with the ult, but then Spica shoots his own ult in, he flashes in. It was an early one, and then he gets it at 330 something health.
Oh man, that is a heartbreaker for EG. I have to wonder why FBI continued to hit the Baron. It seemed like they were doing fine, leaving it at about 4k HP, but they just kept hitting it. They kept whittling it down and put it into range for the Aphelios Sejuani combo to get it.
Yep. Well, boys, we now have 1:45 for FlyQuest to try to get everything they possibly can from this Baron they picked up. Yes, they're pressuring a tier 2 in top lane, but look at Jojo. He's in the enemy base. He's at the tier 3. He's kicking down the door of FlyQuest base. He knows he can't stick around for a long time. They're coming to collapse on him. He will not get the entirety of the turret, and EG manages to divert some of the pressure through this method. Eyla sidestepping away from the death sentence as Vulcan wanted to engage and find the enemy support. Now Inspired's here in the front, and VicLa's able to keep him back. Jojo wants his entrance. Spica's going to keep him away now, too. Prince ready to follow up. VicLa's here in the front line. He wants to get back. Seismic Shove going to be flashed away as Jojo stays alive. Prince is on the hunt. FlyQuest right behind him, looking to enable him, looking to allow that AD carry to find the money that he needs to get to win this fight. He has the green gun. He's got the range. Keep your eyes on Prince.
Speaking of range, peep the Garen build real quick. You see what he turned that into?
My rapid fire! Yes, extend the sword. Go gadget, extendo sword.
Why use a sword when you can buy a gun? Ssumday's ready to silence you from 27 extra auto attack range away.
Yeah, that's fine, because Garen used to always get the Mortal Reminder out of his Zeal, but now that's not built out of Zeal anymore, so I mean, I guess I've never seen this
Does
before.
his ult get longer too?
I don't know, it's only auto attacks. It's only auto attacks to my knowledge. Okay, so Garen's got a gun, and FlyQuest have Baron for another 15 seconds. They'll be able to use that to force down the tier 2 in bottom lane. That's the last thing they'll get with this Baron. The gold lead that was about 8,000 is down to 4,000. FlyQuest have 3 Drakes, EG have 2. The Baron wears away. We got ourselves a banger of a game, my friends.
Absolutely massive Baron steal. Just completely got FlyQuest back in this game, and now it looks like EG's actually the ones who are struggling, because if you look at their builds, right? Jojo, they were kind of committing to winning off that Baron, right? He bought the blue pot. He isn't building Death Cap, so his late game's not going to be as strong. And the items are just coming in for FlyQuest. They've got, almost 4-item Taliyah, 4-item Aphelios. It's getting tough to win these teamfights.
What is going on? What a game. Runaan's Hurricane completed for Prince's Aphelios as well. So as they try to dogpile in with the Garen, with the Gragas, with Azir flying into the middle of the fight for everybody, if Prince is not immediately killed, he will be hitting everyone all of the time for massive amounts of damage. I feel like out of all 10 players on the Rift, Prince is the one who's going to matter the most in terms of how quickly he dies or not in this next fight. Spica will lead the charge as FlyQuest pushes up into the bottom side triangle of the EG jungle. They're not going to try anything super crazy, just sitting down a little bit of vision, seeing if maybe there's a straggler out there. This is one of those things that I think can become very interesting in a game where one team was so far ahead for so long, you might be able to catch them in a situation where they don't think there would be any danger, but now there is because things have changed so suddenly.
Right, it's always a difficult situation to be in when you go from having such a lead to not anymore, because some people are still feeling like you're really strong. They're like, let's just keep fighting. Some other people, maybe if they're behind, they're saying, oh, I don't think we should fight yet. I want to get my items. And they're just slowly losing control of the map.
Yeah, I think it was a really telling toggle of vision by the observers. How dark and scary the map has quickly gotten for evil geniuses.
So let's say you're in Inspired's position here in this game, Meteos. You're the jungler on the team that was ahead for so long. Things have changed now. What's the kind of call that you're wanting to make? How would you want to play it out from here for EG?
It's tough. I mean, I think you need to try to find some sort of pick. I'm not convinced you just win a you know, head-on team fight in this situation. I think you have to kind of get creative here and maybe find a big Garen flank. You know, you've got tools like Varus, Gragas, Thresh to find picks. I think you want to just get defensive vision down, try to control your jungle, and punish Fly when they come to get control.
And again, in the 2-minute period before the dragon spawns, try and fish around, see if you can get anything off of this Aphelios. Cleanse, flash, will take any sort of advantage you can for the setup, because that is going to be a big, big problem. Even Taliyah now, Taliyah hitting 5 items here with the Void Staff coming in for VicLa. No longer is he going to be held down from that early game. The minefield you have to be wary of. It's a big part of stuffing those EG comeback plays. The Gragas, the Azir, gonna have to be mindful.
And it's the opposite of what Meteos was talking about for Jojo, whose build does not have the mega high damage items in it. It's Void Staff, it's Seraphs, it's Death Cap. All of these items added together create just a huge amount of threat. The Azir Sun Disc was summoned up mid. Prince killed it in 4 auto attacks. Spica's over the wall, coming out looking maybe from an angle with the Arctic Assault over, but doesn't see a good target for the Glacial Prison, but they're not going to engage anything just yet. 75 seconds before Dragon spawns. It's Soul if FlyQuest gets it. Baron also spawned up now. Eyla chunked out massively, and
Really
that
good
means
poke.
EG are looking for the opportunity to go after Baron yet again.
Yeah, Ayla's pretty much the only member susceptible to poke. And
Oh my god, are they gonna flip again? It's a flip.
It's a flip. Can Spica do it again? No, he can't, but he charges over the wall, and now he might just be dead. Spica has a flash that he would be able to escape back over the wall with if he needs to, and yes, he will. Baron over to EG.
Radiant Virtue healing there. Tanky Sejuani, even with Azir, Jojo trying to whittle him down. He's able to at least survive and get out again. But nice burst this time. EG, no hesitation, they just melt it. They don't want to let Spica get a chance to get in. He did the same thing though, throw his ult in, then try and get in. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see here that with the game being closer, EG doesn't have the luxury of being able to zone everyone. They just kind of YOLO it, say, yeah, let's just see what happens.
Nice Gragas ult, hit him, and he kind of got squeezed against the back of the Baron pit wall. And it was just that little window, they burst it down.
EG have a Baron for the next 2 minutes. FlyQuest are looking for the opportunity to stop something here. You can see Spica just used the smite to pop Banshee's Veil on Jojo, so now they have a chance to try to make a play on him if they get another angle. Spica using the Arctic Assault to buffer through the chains of corruption. That's another big cooldown there from FBI. EG moving down towards the Drake. Remember, it's not Soul for them. They're just trying to stop FlyQuest from being able to get it. Prince is going to lead the charge. FlyQuest are just going for the inside angle on the enemy base. They're saying, if you want the dragon, you can take it, because we might be able to find a different angle instead. Jojo may have been caught, but Prince got caught instead. He's actually staying alive, but Ssumday on the Garen will find the flank, and EG run him over. VicLa won't escape, and that's the end of the game right there.
Flowers,
Wow.
you asked Meteos, what would you do if you're the Gragas in this situation? You game-winning initiation onto Prince.
Incredible.
Holy moly.
So well played by
insane.
EG. You know, even Jojo getting engaged on getting that stopwatch off, and it just ended up with FlyQuest being in a really compromising position.
Yeah, they went right for him, and Inspired, huge job to chunk him low enough to set it up for that Ssumday flank.
Inspired deserves so much credit this game. Almost all their early game advantages came from his pathing, and Gragas is not easy to play in team fights. Hitting these just max range ultis to knock an Aphelios in, just incredibly good play.
For the second time this split, FlyQuest will fall. One last message to Eyla on the spawn platform, and evil geniuses triumph over FlyQuest.
Ooh. I am sorry for all of your Garens in solo queue. Ssumday ends with no deaths. No Garen has ever been killed in the LCS. 6-0. He got the final kill onto Prince as well, the enemy carry. Wow.
What a battle. It nearly ended up going the other way after the incredible Baron steal from Spica. But EG hold on. They find the beautiful final engage that you guys were talking about. They take out the full build of Aphelios. And that's the second loss that FlyQuest has suffered this entire split. EG hands it to him.
That was an awesome game. What a pleasure to be able to cast that one. You know, a lot of hype going into it. Back and forth game. Very good play from both sides. Just awesome to watch.
It was a pleasure having you on for that game, having you on throughout the day so far, buddy. Right now, though, we actually have to send you down to the stage to do the post-game interview now that this game is done. So go ahead, pop off your headset. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to have you back anytime, man. And we will get you... Oh, you're hooked in here. Hold on,
We'll get him back to work.
There we go. Head on down to the stage, and then as soon as you're ready, we'll toss the interview over to you. Kobe, that game was...
That was
nuts.
a battle. That was a battle. That was so fun to watch. Made possible by the steal from FlyQuest, from Spica getting over there and breathing some more life into it. Vulcan right now, giving the shush to Eyla.
We are about to see so much shit on Twitter after that one's done.
Certainly
so much.
Wait, let me check all chat one more time. No.
Yep.
Everybody's typing GGs in all chat. Good, clean game.
That's the way you do it.
Sportsmanship.
Talk your trash on Twitter. Say GG in the game. Let's see one more time.
Okay, we need to take another look at this. Okay, so Jojo, he walks up. He does get Sedge ulted, but then he instantly is able to use the stopwatch. There's that inspired engage I'm talking about. Right onto the group, right onto Prince. Prince flashes back. Ssumday's already on the flank, gunning for him. Gets in there for the execution, and they wipe FlyQuest's hope of running this one back.
And that strength of the Garen ultimate. We got to see it for the intended purpose versus Ssumday a couple of times already, stopping him from being able to use his ult the way that he wants to. And then at the end, just that ability to guarantee that you have a point-and-click true damage execute. Once the health bar's low enough, the play can't fail as long as he's in range. He built specifically for closing the gap. Rapid fire cannon. It might have looked goofy, but it worked out. That's what matters. Honestly, just the ideal situation there at the very end for Evil Geniuses. Prince is such an aggressive AD carry player. He saw the potential for a pick on Jojo. He wanted to go for it, but it put him just a little bit too far forward. Vulcan times that. He knew that Eyla was coming back up, and he's not afraid to step forward and eat the laser to take Eyla with him. Honestly, man, EG fought hard for that one, but getting a dub against a team that everybody kind of just looks at as like, okay, we're probably going to lose this one. That's really good, especially for your positioning going into the last couple of weeks of regular play, working towards playoffs. But hey, quick reminder to all you guys, speaking of playoffs leading to finals, and we are officially live with tickets for the LCS Spring Final in Raleigh, North Carolina on April 8th and April 9th. You can head to Ticketmaster.com right now to claim your spot, and we hope to see you there. But before we get into anything else, it's time for us to join Meteos and Vulcan for the Verizon post-game interview.
Hello, I'm joined here with the victorious Vulcan. First time being on this side of the interview is a little weird, but let's keep this focused on you. So, incredible game. I gotta ask the classic, how does it feel? You know, that rivalry, you had so much going into this, so many stakes. How was it?
Yeah, it was a big ego battle after last week's tweets back and forth. The sad thing about that is that I actually tweeted the first thing that started the whole war, just in support of Winsome, because I've been playing soccer with him in the esports soccer group, and he's kind of my boy now. So I was just like supporting him, and then it just started this whole thing where I get my face taped to a punching bag, and then I see the other guy punching it. It's a little bit weird for a regular season game. Like I get that, you know, it's LCS and he's not too good, so it's kind of hype for him. But yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next question, just what led to this. So it was more support of Winsome than an attack on Eyla. Either way, awesome stuff. Love it, love the banter. So in that game, this was the first time since LCS started that we've seen a Garen. What was that about? Was that something you guys have been cooking up? Is Ssumday saying like, oh, I got cheesed by this in solo queue, it's so good against Ssumday? Like, walk me through that one.
I'm pretty sure it started from Moose Hater in NA Challenger League, and that's where everyone started playing it. It actually has a pretty good matchup into Ssumday, and as you can see, this game, he was like running him down on side lane, and every time we get a kill with his ult now, the Garen ult, we told Ssumday to scream Demacia in voice comms. So keep an eye out for when that releases. You guys can tune in on the EG YouTube channel to catch that. That's pretty funny.
That was incredible. So this game was very back and forth. You know, it looked really good for you guys in the beginning. You had super like huge control over the game after that third dragon, but it started to slip away when they stole the Baron. So what was going through the comms? You know, how was the team feeling once it seemed like you started losing control, they started taking over the map?
We just had to kind of slow down a little bit, be more clear in comms, because in that Baron, I think it's very easy for Gragas, Varus together to burst it, and it should be hard in theory for Sejuani to get a good steal in. I think we did a poor job at like saying when we're going to burst it, what moment. Maybe we can look for Varus ult to CC the Sejuani like we did the second attempt when we were able to get it. So I think it's a good play. We just were a bit too wild in the comms and we didn't really listen to each other or say the right things. But we knew that our comp was good. Azir was like pumping against 2 tanks and he was doing a lot of DPS. I did get a little bit scared when Jojo got kind of caught out at the end, but he was able to press stopwatch and then we wiped them. So that felt good.
Yeah, I mean, awesome game. Very well played. Glad you were able to win that ego battle. And yeah, we're going to toss it to a break now. And up next is TL versus TSM. Thank you, Vulcan.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another NA Talent Update. Kicking things off, we had the NACL Qs last weekend, and Maryville University actually took the first qualifiers. So, shout out to the school kids. Speaking of, we had a lot of movement between LCS and Challengers last week, so let's send it to Professor Magical to see how he graded the newcomers.
What is it? Can't you see I'm busy?
We had some exchange students submit some last-minute work.
Fine. Thinky, I thought he retired.
Oh, that's Diplex. I mean, look here. Across the 6 games, he's got the 2nd highest damage share in the whole league.
All right, you know what? He gets an A. Spawn, my old student.
Oh, he's actually looked pretty good this past weekend. Struggling a bit in LCS, but now he gets to play with his old teammates, XU, Insanity, who they made to Proving Grounds finals last summer with, actually.
Spawn gets a B+ then. Win some.
Oh, this is a great one. He, ever since joining this roster, they've gone 4-0, and it looked like a brand new team.
A+.
He's not actually a doctor. He's just esports certified. And on that topic, certain orgs are certifiably killing it this split. But how well has Rafa been paying attention?
Previously.
Hey, Rafa, have you seen how good FlyQuest are doing?
Of course. They're like #1 in the league right now, dude.
Not LCS. FlyQuest Challengers. Check this out. With Eyla finally here, Winsome's in and can shot call for the team. On top of that, Masu the Wi-Fi wizard is finally in LA, and he's looking incredible.
Hey, Golden Guardians, they're on a hot streak too. You mean like 7-game win streak Golden Guardians? Come on, man, it's Challengers. Check this out. In the last 3 weeks, Golden Guardians Challengers are 9-3. Their rookie Young has gained a lot of confidence after his LCS appearance, and Prismo and Array are really doing better in their sophomore split. So, only the top LCS teams have good Challengers teams. Well, Dignitas are in second.
And did you see? XU played in Italy.
But the Challengers teams aren't the only ones impressing us this split, as some of the provisional teams have really stepped up their game. So to commemorate that, we're happy to introduce a brand new product hitting store shelves soon.
Now that's what I call provisional. 6 of NA's hottest new superstars with smash hits like Moose Haters, Garen on my way.